I met a gypsy.
And so when you get that, like become the free ride team, like how does your life change from that point?
Well, we got money. We got cash, you
Yeah.
know, and
What sort of pay was it? What was it like?
oh, I think the first year, I think I got like not very much. That was the fattest era in the movie.
No way.
Yeah, filmed from behind back in the day. Oh God, what was I making back then? I was like, I think I got 20 grand here, 10 grand there, another 10 grand. I think I made like $60,000.
Which is good money, really.
To a redneck kid,
to
I
ride.
was rich.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
was rich to a redneck kid. That was insane. Because I was planting trees for 15 cents a tree, 15 cents, 30 cents, running around in the mountains with bags of little trees, planting trees, because the logging companies by law had to replant the areas that they logged. 45 cents, 60 cents. You're sweating all day to plant 2,000 trees, trying to make $200, $300 a day. And all of a sudden, I think Rocky gave me 10 grand, then 20 grand, and then, Giro and Marzocchi and different sponsors and Roach added up to actually making enough to make a living and not have to go to work doing manual labor. I would do anything. I think you want me to jump off cliffs? I'll jump off more cliffs.
Yeah, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And it was crazy. And maybe that's part of the reason why I got into a bit of trouble partying so hard is because, for a number of years I was making good money. And then at one point I started making over 100 grand a year.
Yeah.
100 grand a year to a redneck kid is a lot of money.
Were you still living at home?
I was still living at home.
Yeah, so you just had too much money.
I had too much money.
Yeah.
And, I would actually live at home for a bit, and then I would travel and live somewhere else. And then I would come back from traveling, and I would go back to my parents, and use that as a home base. And then I would move somewhere else and rent an apartment. And I was off and on all over the world, but I was mostly nomadic and just traveling and shooting and riding.
Yeah.
And snowboard racing in the winter, racing World Cup, and then, shooting mountain biking all year, which was challenging because I was trying to do two sports.
Be pro at two things.
Be a pro in two sports. And, I was riding for Burton, which was a great help. I had the best boards in the world. And it was challenging to finish my snowboard season and then get on the bike, and everyone's got a head start on the bike. And then I would, be mountain biking while people were training in South America, or New Zealand or whatever on the snow. And so I was like behind. So I had to
just always behind.
Yeah,
in
always
both
behind,
things. Yeah.
Most pros are doing one sport.
Yeah.
And I was doing two. So it was tough to juggle. And, I wasn't any Shawn Palmer. So it was tough. I actually have a funny story about how I met Shawn Palmer.
Dude, tell me. I love that guy so much.
Yeah,
He is the man.
He's the man. Palmer's awesome. But before I met him, I only knew of him. And, I raced border cross. I was Canadian border cross champ just before I retired in 2000. But he was 4 times X Games gold medalist. He won the ski cross. He entered ski cross, won the ski cross, gold medal in ski cross. He got second in Australia behind Nicolas Veuillot, 0.15 of a second behind the win. Got the silver medal there. His first World Championships. He won Big Bear World Cup. He was on fire. He told me, I read, actually, he didn't tell me this. He told me that his biggest sporting achievement was qualifying for Supercross Maine.
Mm-hmm.
And what a sick dude. But I was at a race in Tahoe where I was in the Super G and I got 11th place, which was enough for me to celebrate and party. And I got drunk and ripped it up. And I showed up for the border cross the next day and I missed practice. And I was trying to get into the course, and this big Hawaiian dude was standing there. I was like, "Course is closed, practice is done. Sorry, man." And I'm like, "Dude, I've been tree planting all summer to save money to be here, and I just drove 28 hours. Can I go down the side of the course and inspect it so I have a chance against all these guys when the heat start here in a little bit?" And he's like, "Go down the side of the course." I'm like, "Okay." So I went down the side of the course, trying to memorize it. Double berm, spine, steep pitch, giant triple jump, finish line. I'm like, "Okay, I got it. And then I ran into a buddy of mine, Hetz, at the bottom. And I'd given him some hash that I'd smuggled across the border to my lower lip. If I got pulled in, I was going to swallow it. And he's like, Tip. I'm like, hey, that's. He goes, you do the triples? And I go, no, I just inspected the course. And the guy next to him turns around. It was Shawn Palmer. And he turns around, and in this packed lineup, he goes, ya pussy.
No way.
And I went, I am what I eat. And he goes, he didn't know what to say. And so the guys got on the chair. He pulled back from his buddies, and he got on the chair with me. And he's sitting next to me, and he's looking at me. And he goes, who are you anyhow? I go, I'm Tippie from BC. He goes, well, Tippie from BC, you burn them? I'm like, yeah. He goes, good. Pulls out a joint from out his ear and smokes a joint with me.
No way.
That's why I met Shawn Palmer.
Dude. He's the fucking king of cool.
He's
Doesn't
like
get much cooler than that guy.
Yeah. You know what? Like, he was so talented and so good. And people loved the confident, cocky attitude. Everyone's here for second. And then he would do it.
Yep.
Yeah. You know, like, and yeah, it's pretty amazing.
If you enjoyed this content, please like and subscribe. And to listen to the full 3-hour podcast, search Gypsy Tales in your favorite podcast platform or click the link in the description below. Gypsy Gang.